I'm going to be 100% real. I didn't feel the election until the election happened. So I remember that I was out there at 8 p.m. Right at 8 p.m. I voted. It was like a numbness. And then immediately afterwards, when we realized that Donald Trump was in the lead and he was most likely going to win, my friends and I grabbed each other and we just started crying.
Well, throughout the election and the year leading up to it, I thought it was a hilarious joke. I honestly didn't think Donald Trump would claim the Republican nomination. I come from a conservative background, so I don't believe Donald Trump identifies with Republican values. I don't think he knows necessarily what he is. I was extremely disappointed to see that that is what Republicans elected to represent them in this country.
Well, a lot of people seem to be shocked, but I wasn't one of them. For a long time, I sat there and I spoke to my family. I was very nervous. I told them that Trump could possibly win. There is a serious chance he's going to win. And then, my family would tell me, but no, I mean, look at the video that just released about what he said about women. I'm like, I don't think that deteriorates anyone. So come election night and I see Trump leading in the polls and I'm, it's 11 o'clock at night and it's happening. And all I feel is numbness. I've never felt this sort of just deadness inside me. Because I've always thought that, the U.S. was truly a place of opportunity, an open-mindedness, and a place of progression. But with Trump leading and him becoming a president of the country that's supposed to be the leader of the free world, what kind of message is that to people who want to start a life here? It's like a shattered dream.
So with that being said, I can honestly say that the whole experience was really shocking, and I'm in no way satisfied with how the elections resulted, although it would have been the same walkway if Clinton had won. So it was just one of the candidates was more vocal, and I feel his perspective on people of color and minorities has shown in his supporters more than anything.
There should be a pathway to citizenship, especially for people who have been here their whole entire life. And some of those issues directly affect my friends, many of which are in Associated Students.
People keep trying to reassure me that, he's not going to ban you or it's not constitutional. Yeah, he may not directly ban me, but there are things he's proposing to do to perform a registry for Muslims, which we know that history has showed that a registry for one group of people is never a good idea. It never ends well. And even, for example, if I was not to be banned because I'm here legally under a student visa, but what if he puts some sort of policy that makes it really difficult for my family to come and visit me? If I can't see my family, that's a deal breaker. I mean, there is nothing here binding me to stay in this country. I can just leave. I don't have to deal with Donald Trump. But that's a bad thing because America's built on immigrants. It's built on dreams and hopes of people coming here and making a difference. But, it's just him proposing something as ridiculous as banning Muslims because of a faith which he has no knowledge of. And he hasn't read the Quran. He doesn't even know a single word of Arabic. Yet he has all these businesses in the Middle East. He's the biggest hypocrite of them all. You want to ban Muslims, but you have multi-million businesses owned in Dubai.
For me, it's really sentimental and really emotional because my mom is undocumented, and I guess the whole time I was just thinking about her and about how this election is going to influence the way she lives her life. And I related that to my peers, who some are undocumented, and I related that to the fears that my friends were having as well for their friends and their family. And it all really just coincided with Tuesday, November 8th, when we were all holding each other and crying. One of them was increasing the housing around homelessness. I feel like that's a project that we should have been focusing on a long time ago, right before we started beautifying areas. Another one was on increasing the amount of funding that goes around education. That's really important as a student to me, as a student that went to high school in a rural area that was not well funded and did not receive all the resources and benefits that I could have.
I come from the East Coast. When I got here, it was extremely evident to me that there is a huge lack of funding in Southern California, particularly in education.
Yes, so as a civil engineer, one of the main things I do deal with is transportation, and that's something I do want to focus on in the future for my graduate studies. So Measure M is really, really important because you're allowing this public transport system to grow, which is something Los Angeles desperately needs. The reason for this chaotic traffic you see here is because of the lack of public transport. So allowing that is a start to decreasing the congestion here and opening up more parking spaces, making it easier for people to commute. And it is also environmentally friendlier to be commuting. So I'm definitely big supporter of allowing more public transportation.
I definitely believe in a third-party system. I think the fact that America has to choose between the lesser of two evils during the election is essentially robbing us of our ability to become a better country. I think the Libertarian Party brings the best out of both.
I really worry about the future, not just for myself or the Muslim population that I somewhat represent, but I worry about undocumented students, about LGBT and other minorities, and if somebody decides to flip Roe versus Wade and just start control over women's bodies, those kind of things really worry me. So right now I'm at a point where I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I do know that if my rights are going to be taken away, I'm gladly going to go back home.